Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, the Me, Myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. We are getting ready to go into the Soviet operations phase of April 1944. It is poor weather in the cold zone. The West had exceedingly prosperous attacks. They're pushing through the Alps into southern Germany, and they've broken out of the Brittany Peninsula and have captured Cherbourg and Calais and are starting to march across France. The Soviets are going to hope to at least push the Germans back a space or two. Poor weather doesn't allow for spectacular breakthroughs like what we saw in the West. But one of the first things we need to do is we're going to need to move the Kalinin aircraft. He's going to fly all the way up to Smolensk, take a sortie, and then he's going to counter-air the German third. So they start off at -1 for sorties and then -2 for weather. So they're at a -3. The Germans are a net -4. +2 for German, -2 for weather, and -4 for sorties. So it's -3 to -4. I need to roll a 6 to get a 2 for 1 for the Russians. Otherwise, it's going to be a straight exchange. And I rolled a 6. A 6 -3 is a 3. So now the Germans need to roll a 6 to make it a 1-1. They rolled a 5. -4 is a 1. So the Germans take 2. And the Russians only take 1. So they have some extra sorties to throw around. I wonder if I should fly it south and have it take out this other guy. Leave my other airplanes to get into combats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an interesting dilemma to be in, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could fly all the way down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I could fly all the way down to 3047. Pound him, and then I'd have like 1, 2, 3. I'd have like 4 airplanes concentrated against his 2, which might be 2-1 and open terrain once I get past Kiev is probably going to push him all the way back to the bug in a hurry. Decisions. I think I'm going to do that. So the 4th air and its sortie marker are going to take a little trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 3047. And that gives them a sortie. And then they will counter-air the Odessa. Germans are a net of -4. I'm at a net of -5. So it's going to be a 1 for me and a best of 2 for him. So it's going to be straight exchanges. So I will be at 5, and he will be used up. So I've negated the German air for my impending attacks here. Question is where does the Kursk airplane go? Well, why don't I just go ahead and do an attack up here in the north first, and let's see how that goes. So I'm going to activate the 8th Guards, the 3rd Shock, and the 6th Tank Army, all on the Nor. That's going to be my assault hex. On my faction card, Germans don't have anything, so it's up to the Russians. I think, let me check the turn track. I get a heavy artillery next turn. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use 1 heavy artillery here. And then I'm also going to throw a tanks marker on that guards unit. It only leaves me 1 tanks marker, but I think that's important enough to try and push him out of the swamps, try and break this northern front somehow. Some way, trying to get closer to pushing him away. So let's do the math. We're +1 because we're an elite. The guards infantry is the primary. And he gets +1 because he has a tanks marker on him. Then I get to add, in poor weather, +2 for the shock, +2 for the tank, and +2 for the heavy artillery. And then I'm going to throw in my airplane for a sortie. That will make me +9. Then I have to subtract 1 for the swamp and 1 for the weather. And then the Germans are at +2 just because, hey, they're Germans. So the Nor infantry, it's a +7 to a +2. The Russians roll 3 + 7 is a 10. Germans roll 6 + 2 is an 8. And a 10 to an 8 is no, we're not moving. You wasted all that for nothing. Yay. The Germans are stubborn trying to hang on to those swamps. Okay, the Russian tanks marker goes back. And we have to roll for the heavy artillery. 3 turns. 1, 2, 3. Be back in July. And boy, what a bust. I at least hope to get a DR out of that. Ugh. Well, that's horrible. Just terrible. So maybe we should try something else here. Oh, I need to go take those points off. What did I say I spent? 5? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I spent 5, so I'm down 35. Yeah, down to 35. Nothing to build at the moment, so I do have a guards guy to flip over, so I want to save 17. 15 from airplanes and 1 for that guards unit. But this looks like another +3, +4, +5, 6, +7, -1, +6 to +2, +6 to +2. That's pretty good odds. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. So the 4th Guards tank, 2, 1st Guards, 4, and then the 1st Shock Army. So that's 2, 4, another 5. Should just leave this up here. Another 5 there. I'll go ahead and use the airplane that's southeast of Bryansk to give me an extra +1. So start off the Guards tank armies will be the primary here. So he's +1 because he's elite, +1 because he's a tank, +1 for a buddy, +2 for a shock, +1 for the aircraft, and then -1, -2. So he's -2 for 1 for the woods and 1 for the weather. So it's only a +4 to a +2. And the Russians roll. A 6 +4 is a 10. The Germans roll. 5 +2 is a 7. 10 to a 7 is enough for at least a DR. So at least we push the 6th Army back a space. So I'll go ahead and take it with the Guards unit. The Guards infantry, the Guards mobile infantry unit. Here I had something in mind. What the hell was I going to do? Oh, I know what I was going to do. So I'm going to take this 2nd shock, goes 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to assault the. It's 1 for the river, 2 for the hex, 2 for the unit in the hex, and 1 for the hex. So that's 4, and then it cost me 1, 2, 3 to move into that hex because I had to move around because I can't go through zones of control. And then I'm also going to activate the Guards tank army. And I think the Guards flipped army. Give me an extra +1. And I think I can throw in an aircraft here as well. Yes, throw in the Kursk aircraft. So, the Guards armored unit is the primary. So he's +1 for elite, +1 because he's an armor. I'm adding in a shock army, so that's another +2. I'm adding in an airplane, so that's +1. And then -1 for the weather. So, oh, and +1 for I forgot the Guards flipped guy. So it should have been 1 for elite, 1 for Guards tank, 2 for the shock, that's 4. 1 for the guy is 5. 1 for the airplane is 6. So it should have been 6 -1 is a +5 to a +2. And he has no retreat routes. So let's hope we roll good. Russians roll 5 +5 is a 10. Germans roll 6 +2 is an 8. which, if I remember right, it just tells me to go stuff myself. So, did absolutely nothing to him. Germans are rolling exceedingly well here. See, I could get a +1 to a... Actually, it'd be a +2 to a +2, wouldn't it? Let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Second guards activates and goes 1, 2 across the river. 3, 4, 5 to 27, 49. We'll assault the first again. And we'll throw in the 10th guards as well. And we'll throw in an airplane from Kursk. So that's +1 for an elite, +1 for a buddy, +1 for an airplane, -1 for weather. And the German's still a +2, so... And that was 2, 4 more. I should probably go add this up. I think I just spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I spent 9 more. I'm going to check right after this. See if I did that right. So it's a +2 to a +2. I'm just trying to get a step loss out of him. 4 + 2 is a 6. Germans are all 2 + 2 is a 4. And a 6 to a 4 is a DR. So it's not really all that great. He's got the production points to not care as far as the Germans go. Then I'm going to activate the shock army. Should be for 1. Moves to 34, 47. And I can move directly there because I'm going from one unit zone of control to a different unit zone of control, and they're not shared by the same unit, so I can actually move there. And he will assault the 1st Panzer, so will the 7th Guards, and the 5th Tank, which should be another 5. So it's going to put me down to like 16, so I'm not going to be able to flip this Guards infantry unit up, but I'm probably just going to have to lose him and rebuild him later. Because I definitely want to keep my airplanes up. And then I'm also going to throw in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm at 16. I'm going to add after I do this combat, make sure I'm not too badly off. I'm going to go ahead and throw in this airplane. Try and make the odds, and then I'm going to throw in my last tanks marker as well, but I'm going to save my heavy artillery because either June or May is going to be poor, and I'm probably going to need it to try and continue any offensive I get going. So the tanks marker's on the guards unit, so we'll start with him as being the primary. He's +1 for a tank, so he's at 2. Then I'm adding a tank, and then I'm adding a shock, and I'm adding an airplane. And then I subtract 1 for the weather, so I'm at +6. And the Germans are at +4, because they're German... Oh no, they're at +3. Sorry, not +4. They're +2 for German and +1 because they're armored in Ucky weather. So it's a +6 to a +3. And the Russians are all 1. Yeah, figures. So that's a net of 7. And the Germans are all a 6, of course. A 7 to a 9 is just a diamond. It figures, right? Trying to emulate the West's massive assaults, and what did I do? I pushed a guy out of the forest, and that's all I did. I pushed a guy out of the forest. Oh, and I flipped the 1st infantry, who's going to flip right back up. So let's do a quick count here, make sure I did this right. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 from 40 is 16. So I either don't flip up an airplane, or I leave this guy down, let the Germans kill him. So I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, I have an infantry unit here somewhere, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't quite get to where I want to get to. I'm trying to find myself another infantry unit somewhere. I don't have any infantry units in a good place to move. Well, I'm going to move the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I can just forego some airplanes. I think I'll forego some airplanes. I'm going to forego an airplane. I'm going to move the 4th Guards. 1, 2, to there. So that actually cost me 2 more. So I'm down on 14. That'll let me flip my Guards army and flip up 4 airplanes. So flip up my I got a 5 and a 6 and a 6 and a 6. So yeah, not as good as I want. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Spending a lot of time trying to kill this first army because it's just in the way. I can't get through anywhere. I can't seem to push the Germans away. Well, all the Russians are in supply. By hook or by crook. So that ends that. It's the end of the operations phase for the Soviets. There's nobody with a no supply marker, so we can skip that. Placements for the Axis. They have a ton. But they've got to spend a ton too, so they're not going to be able to get their surprise attack marker back. There's 3 here. And this guy is 4. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. So that spent 10. Puts me down to 21. Then we go over here. 6, 3, 6. And this guy's 9. So that's 9 more. That puts me down to 16 or 17 actually. Oh no, that's the British. Put this back. That was 9 more, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, down to 12. Might as well go ahead and do this while I still can. So this just goes away. That's 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So they have 9 left. And I don't think I have any flipped ground units that I can flip face up with the extra points. Just checking around, make sure I haven't missed anybody. Certainly doesn't look like it. Nope. So that's the Axis. So now we go do the West. So the Americans, do the Americans first. This goes. Just put it over there. Oh, I did have another one. I'm going to put it up here by Sardinia so I remember to see it. This comes down to, because it's American. Other American stuff. This comes down to. This comes down to. There's an American convoy up here that comes down to. I left him there because I'm going to get another ground unit that I'm just going to have him move in and probably maybe even ferry back, pick up the airplane, and just bring it into England just so that we have everything on the front. Oh, there's an American French unit that needs to be flipped. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do at the end of my operations phase? Sorry, excuse me. American's prize attack marker goes into the prize attack marker box. The British prize attack marker goes into the British prize attack box. Then I have to roll for my airdrop to see if I get it back. And then the British roll for the airdrop, a 5. Didn't lose it, but not going to see it for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we'll see it in September, so the last guaranteed free weather turn, I'll have another paragraph available. Hey, bridge too far, anybody? So I think I've cleared all the Americans as best I can. Now I got to pay for the British. So this is 4 and 6. That's 10. So it puts me down to 16. And I know that there's 9 more in the Middle East that I just... what else do I have? And I've got 3 and 6. So 3 and 6 puts me down to 10. And then I have 9 more to do in Italy, which are like crucial. So I got to do these 3 so I can stop the German aircraft. And then just to make sure that I can keep myself in supply, I need to do these 2 for 6 more. So that's 9, which puts me down to just having 1 left. Can't do anything with 1. So I'm done. And we will go to the Soviets. They're going to flip their infantry guards unit. So he's full strength. And then I got to pop up 369. I can do 4 airplanes. So I think I'll do the one in Bologoya. That's 3. The one in Bryansk. That's 6. And then the 2 here in the south. For 12. And that's all I can do with the Russians. The Soviets are done. Not that far ahead of the Germans as far as sorties go, but hey, best we can do. There's nobody's got an upgrade. Mobilization. No, the Axis doesn't get their stuff till next turn. So Axis is done. And then the West gets Staff. Americans get Staff. I get an airplane with 4 sorties. And they get the 7th Armored. Reduced. And they will rebuild their surprise attack marker as well. The turn track. So that's 4 turns from now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to come back in August. Just put the Germans over here to the side. Surprise attack marker in August. And that, dear friends, with the upcoming reinforcement phase of May, will be the last units to build for the Americans. So, getting down to crunch time. Gotta find a way to try and conserve from... Oh, we did have an upgrade. I'm sorry, the West had an upgrade. Dun dun dun, I forgot about that. West got an upgrade, so the 2nd Army will replace the BEF. So now I have fairly good ground units, and I'll be able to fill out with the Americans, so I'll be able to send the Canadian garrison home if necessary. Just to make it easier for my armies to advance. So that's what I'll end up doing. So that's mobilization, right? I got everybody? Yep, I got everybody that I could. Nobody's talking because we're still fighting. Haven't conquered Germany yet. So game's not over. End of turn phase. Why did I take that faction card down? I got stuff to put on there from the turn track. Because, hey, it's the turn track. And the Germans get a bunch. They get their jets back. Yay, get my jets back. And I get my tanks marker back. I get my surface action unit back. And I get a paratrooper in the mobilization box. And the 12th Infantry goes in the mobilization box. And that 6th Garrison, or whatever it was, goes in the mobilization box. So the Germans will have some stuff to spend their points on next turn. And of course the Russians get their tank markers. British get their tank marker back. Russians get another tank marker. Americans get another surprise attack marker. Russians get another heavy artillery. And the Americans get their last ground unit, the 9th, in the mobilization box. And we move the turn track to May. So, things are looking up in the West a little bit. Like I said, there's a possibility if the Germans want to try to eliminate the American First Army, they might be able to do that. I forgot to do the American aircraft here. Always got to check underneath units. Okay, so, and the American bombers. Forgot to do the American bombers. Okay. Now I think we're done. I will check and make sure I didn't screw anything up here. But I'm pretty sure that that's the end of the turn. So, that was the Soviet operations phase and end of turn phases for April 1944, where we will start up with May of 1944 in the next series of videos. I am Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And we will return after I get done editing this ridiculously long set of videos with the May 1944 and see what happens. See if we can bring Germany to its knees. See you later. Bye-bye.